Sakyamuni Buddha is verbose. He's still repeating the same thing. So what is meant by the deluded view arising from individual karma? I have talked about the individual karma and the shared karma or collective karma. In my example is that individual karma is the karma created by an individual due to your deluded thoughts. So individual perceptions, deluded or incorrect view, incorrect thoughts that affect you. So whatever you do, create karma. That's called individual karma. And what is collective karma? It's karma that's created together by a group of people. That's collective karma. So I gave examples yesterday. Wherever you're born, that's your collective karma. Whichever country you're born, that country is your collective karma. Every country is different, and Sakyamuni Buddha will also talk about that. Every country is different. Sumu's home caretaker is called Abi, who came from Ethiopia in Africa. She brought her daughter to America, and this time was on a tour to Ethiopia, the homeland. And when she got there, she cried every day, Abby told us. It's something that she cannot see in America. That the kids don't wear any pants, all naked running around. No bathrooms, they urinate and defecate anywhere. No food to eat because her daughter grew up in America. The daughter's parents came from Ethiopia, so she went back to their homeland and discovered that it's very different from America. No high-rises, they were all just huts. And one tribal chief would have over 30 wives and give each one of them a grass hut and then just have one tent. So how can you compare America and Ethiopia? Why are you born in America and why were those people born in Ethiopia? That's called collective karma. Why weren't you born as an Israeli and as a Palestinian instead? Why weren't you born as a Russian and instead you were born as a Ukrainian? That's all collective karma. So what they encounter is due to the collective karma. Every country is different. In America, you don't see the little motorbikes all over the place to be a transport, like flying around. But of course, there are also motorbikes in America, but there are a lot fewer. Most people drive cars. And you don't see many people travel by foot. But if you go back to Taiwan, people either on the bikes or motorbikes, motorcycles, and like a group, a huge group of motorcycles that you can't avoid. And we call them the bees, the little bees. And every time we're shocked because the motorcycles is like running all over, and they use the motorcycles as a transport means. It's all over Taiwan, but not in America. So every country is different. So if your collective karma is there, then you would be there. We have many accidents in Taiwan. It's very scary. They always reported on the accidents all over the place. It's always in the news. That's collective karma. And then individual karma is something that you created individually and you have to suffer it yourself. If you violated the precepts of killing, stealing, lying, sexual misconduct, and drinking intoxicant, then you have to suffer the retribution. But if you create the karma together, then that's collective karma. So Sakyamuni Buddha talked about what individual karma is and what the collective karma is. So what the Buddha says is different from what I say. Okay, let's see what he says. What is meant by the deluded view arising from individual karma? Because you have the deluded view, you create your own karma. Ananda, it's like someone in the world who has disorder of the eyes, so you don't see just one light, but you see many of them, because that's an eye disorder. So the moon is one, but you see 2, 3, 4, 5 moons. So that's your own karma. At night, when they look at the lamp, they see an additional round halo or overlapping 5-colored light. What do you think? Is this circular glow from the lamp's light the actual color of the lamp, or is it a color seen by the perception? So that means a normal person and someone would have an eye illness would see something differently. One lamp can be seen as 2 lamps, because when you have no illness on your eyes, we count it correctly. But when they have a problem with their eyes, those lanterns or lamps become more. So 1 tree would be seen as 2 trees or 3 trees. That's an eye problem. Why a normal person and someone with an eye problem would see different things? If you see the forms and the person with an eye problem sees are different. So how would you say? Furthermore, Ananda, if the lamp that you see, if the lamp is taken away, is the lamp still there? No. So what they see are different, because you have an ailment, you have an eye problem, so what you see is different from the others. So that's individual karma. That's Sakyamuni Buddha's analogy. People with an eye problem sees differently from the people without the problem. People with an eye problem would see some shadows, but not the normal people. So is it the lamp, or is it your own vision? Or is there something that's neither the lamp nor the vision? But strictly speaking, the wondrous luminous true mind is not the lamp, and it's not the lamp seen, not the shadows either. So like the second moon. So actually the moon is only one, but if you see 2 moons, then that's a problem with your eyes. It's neither the substance or the shadow or reflection, because it happens by rubbing your eyes. Like when you rub your eyes, you see 2 moons. So those with wisdom should not claim that the distortion is real. It's not a certain form or not a certain form. It's apart from the vision and also not vision. It's the same as not seeing it. So the same applies. What is seen produced by the diseased eye. So what is the lamp and what is the vision? How can you decide? Or worse, what is not the lamp or not the vision? And then without the lamp, can you just see the reflection? No. And it's not also seeing the lamp. This long passage is talking about because your eyes have problems. That's called individual karma. So what you see would be different from the normal seeing. of other people. So this is very simple, and yet Sakyamuni Buddha spoke so much. Oh my gosh, I can't stand it. It's not seeing, not seeing, not the lamb, not this, not that. But it is true. The wondrous luminous true mind is not anything. Whether you see lamb or the reflection of the lamb or seeing two lambs, none of those. That's because of your individual karma, because your eyes have disease and created by your deluded thoughts. That's why you mistake it. Mistake that there are two moons or two trees or two lambs or two buildings, two houses, because of the problems with your eyes. In Chinese, there is a saying, mirage, which is like a city above the ocean. That's because of the reflection of the city on the water. Then you see the city on the water, but that's actually delusion. A deluded mind, deluded thought. Actually, it is false. It's not real. There was a sifu who told me, someone who jumped off a tall building, and that's horrible, and you need some courage, but not for him. When he stood on top of the tall building and looked down, and he found heavens under him. So that delusion or illusion appeared in his brain, jumping into the heavens. And then so he jumped without thinking, without second thought, because he generated a delusion. Actually, that's his own karma, individual karma. So, like a fantasy or incorrect thought, like seeing a city in water, it's actually a mirage or a reflection of the city. It becomes, or it looks like a city on the surface of the ocean or in the ocean, but actually that's not the case.